Welcome to B Avenue's How to Become Fluent in French podcast, where we share tips and tricks to help you in your journey to speak French fluently.
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Hayduck, and I'm the founder of Bienvenue French Language School in Hudson, Ohio. We offer custom programs as well as fast-track career training that will get you ready for a new career in just 18 months. Today's episode of How to Become Fluent in French is called 6 Things That Will Turn You into a Snob, French Style. One of my students told me that her French lessons were having one effect on her that she may not have anticipated. She sees herself turning into a snob. So I thought I'd explore what the effects of being a snob, French style, can actually be. It all starts off with creme brulee. The name, burnt cream, refers to the fact that on top of a creamy body, a thin layer of sugar is burnt with a torch to form a layer of caramelized sugar that must be broken through to get to the goodness hiding underneath. Amazingly smooth, like velvet against your cheek, real homemade creme brulee, according to me, constitutes one of God's gifts to man. But beware of imitations. Some restaurants pour ready-made imitation creme brulee into ramekins and use the torch. However, because real creme brulee is cooked in a water bath, there will be a slight dried area around the top where the cream meets the edge of the ramekin. And once you've had real creme brulee, nothing else will ever come close. You might just understand why the French choose to eat only the best. The French like to know that something is homemade, but watch out if they're being duped. They will ask, Est-ce que c'est fait maison? Is it made home? Is it homemade? So your creme brulee had better have the cookie marks on it. I personally wish local wineries would stop putting out cheese plates. The idea of a cheese plate comes from the French plateau de fromage that they bring to the table after the main dish and before the dessert. In a typical French home, the plateau de fromage consists of a selection of cheeses and is passed around for everyone to slice off portions of the cheeses that they want. In a restaurant, you're typically given a choice between 2 or 3 cheeses from the selection they present you with. The waiter will cut you pieces of the ones that you have chosen. Whether you're at home or in a restaurant, cheese is only served with French bread, no seeded crackers, no fruit. With over 450 typical different types of cheese produced in this wonderful country, this new American idea of a cheese plate would make anyone who likes French cheese a snob. So here's some of the vocabulary you might use. Combien de fromage est-ce que je peux choisir? How many cheeses can I choose? Combien de fromage est-ce que je peux choisir? Combien de fromage est-ce que je peux choisir? Quels fromages sont sur le plateau de fromage? Which cheeses are on the cheese plateau? Quels fromages sont sur le plateau de fromage? And of course, you'll have to ask, Est-ce que je peux avoir encore du pain, s'il vous plaît? Can I have some more bread, please? Est-ce que je peux avoir encore du pain, s'il vous plaît? And then, of course, you might have to say, Est-ce que je peux avoir une autre bouteille de vin? Can I have another bottle of wine? Est-ce que je peux avoir une autre bouteille de vin? Then we have the controversial foie gras. Anyone who likes French and the French language has to appreciate the fact that whether you agree with the production of foie gras, it is a French tradition that will just not go away. You don't have to like it. You don't even have to try it. You just have to let it be. There are many pâtés to which they add foie gras too. But one thing that one cannot do is confuse regular pâté de canard or pâté de foie with foie gras. You can usually tell the difference by the price. In a restaurant or even in someone's home, you may be offered anywhere from a slice of foie gras to an appetizer including foie gras, served with different types of bread, often toasted, or maybe with even a fruit chutney. So you can ask, comment vous servez le foie gras? How do you serve foie gras? Comment vous servez le foie gras? Now here's one that's been going on for a long time. Pain industriel versus pain artisanal. Industrial commercial bread versus artisanal bread. In France, you go to the boulangerie to get your fresh baguettes, pain, or whatever configuration of bread you enjoy. You expect the bread to be made there by the boulanger. But things have changed, and more large commercial bakeries are producing bread that is sold in stores, called supermarchés, supermarkets, or grande surface, or even next to other baked goods as if they were just made there. The French look for small, round indentations on the underside of the baguettes. They usually indicate that instead of being shaped, rising, and baked the artisan way, they're placed in metal pans. It's the sign of the industrial commercial bakery. Beware of the boulangerie that doesn't bake its own bread. The French take offense with a store that does any kind of false advertising. So here's some vocabulary that surrounds bread. Faites-vous votre pain ici? Do you make your bread here? Faites-vous votre pain ici? How about this one? Est-ce que le pain est fait de façon artisanale? Is the bread made in an artisan fashion? Est-ce que le pain est fait de façon artisanale? And then, quite frankly, you can say, Est-ce du pain industriel? Is it commercial bread? Est-ce du pain industriel? Now, this is one of my pet peeves. The infamous Napoleon, which of course has nothing to do with Bonaparte. This impostor, mediocre copycat of the amazing millefeuille, is offensive in all ways. Firstly, just the fact that it tries to look like a millefeuille is offensive. And of course, the quality of the pastry and the taste of the cream inside just make it a disappointing experience all the way around. Sorry to say, leave millefeuille to the French, because there's no way America can create a satisfying version of this famous French pastry. Quel genre de crème est à l'intérieur? I often ask, only to be disappointed. What kind of cream is inside? Quel genre de crème est à l'intérieur? And then you can ask, est-ce un Napoléon ou un millefeuille? Is it a Napoleon or 1,000 leaves? Est-ce un Napoléon ou un millefeuille? And our number 6 is le croissant au beurre. Yeah. Sometimes it looks like a butter croissant, rarely tastes like one. Of course, not every French bakery makes a great croissant. Not every bakery even makes a good croissant. But I cringe when I say what many places actually call a croissant. In the Midwest, where we have very few French bakeries, I personally have resorted to going to Starbucks for my croissant fix. It's the most acceptable croissant au beurre that I have found where I live. Est-ce que c'est un croissant ordinaire? Is it a regular croissant? Est-ce que c'est un croissant ordinaire? Or, avez-vous des croissants au beurre? Do you have any butter croissants? Avez-vous des croissants au beurre? Once you have had the original versions of these foods, you'll never be satisfied going back to American cheese, Danish pastries, Napoleons, Walmart French bread, vanilla pudding, or liverwurst. You'll see the turning of the nose happens very gradually, but it will undeniably turn away. Then little by little, You'll realize that what was once acceptable no longer is. Wait for the day of reckoning. It is on its way. The day when your very best friend calls you a snob. Remember, the key to becoming fluent in French is speaking. It doesn't matter how many podcast shows or how much radio you listen to. You cannot become fluent if the words don't come out of your mouth. So if you've been stuck in that in-between place where you can't seem to put it all together, go visit FrenchLanguage.net and take a look at the programs that we offer. À bientôt!